Bo Digital is the secret ingredient you need for success in marketing your small business. From logos and flyers to social media and videos, Bo Digital can create the marketing you need to set yourself apart. Oh, and they build websites too. Not only do they help my small business, but did you know that they help many others around Kokomo too, including Solidarity Community Credit Union, the Lindy Owsley and Chanel Cahill Real Estate Team, Hope Behavioral Services, and even the Kokomo Symphony. Let Bo build a custom plan for you today. Learn more at bowdigital.com. That's BOWE digital.com. I'm Kayla Keith, and this is Murdered Midwest, exclusive content from Missing Midwest. We are back today with part 2 of the Darlie Routier case.
Part 2, we're back. We are back. Super back.
So you've had a week to think about it. Do you have any announcements, first of all?
Tomorrow.
I'm so excited to get into this. So,
tomorrow is the fall market. My girl works hard for this thing all year.
come to the fall market.
I love the fall market. I got to coach 3rd grade football, then I'm there. Totally there. Excited about it.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's my only announcement.
I'm so excited. This is my favorite day of the year.
Definitely, if you order long sleeve tees today, you will not have them by tomorrow at the fall market.
You will not. I'm sorry.
We are selling our candles at the fall market.
I'm going to try to remember.
In the store at the Jefferson House of Flowers.
I'm going to try to remember to put extra stickers in my pocket, and then if anyone comes up to me, I'll give them one.
Nice. I will try to remind her. But there's a 75% chance that she remembers.
If I don't have stickers in my pocket, but I'm going to try.
Yep.
Anything else? Thanks for subscribing.
Yeah, seriously.
Love you.
Seriously, you help us so much. This is a huge help to what we're trying to do. We got big goals, and you're part of it. You're part of our podcast. When you subscribe, you are part of the team. More than you know.
Literally. If you want to start being part of our brainstorming sessions, let us know. We'll zoom you in. Are you ready? I'm ready for this. Okay.
I will say I left last week thinking that she should be in jail.
Okay.
Maybe not 1st-degree murder.
Okay.
Because she was in a rough spot with the postpartum, and she obviously was crazy enough to cut herself if she is the person that did it.
Okay. Fair.
So yeah, I'm saying 1st-degree murder and death row is absolute not okay. It's too much.
So I mean, you would be with a lot of people. I would say majority of people believe that after hearing the prosecution's, what they got here and all their evidence,
they have a phenomenal case against her. You
and the jury agree that she should be in jail because they put her in jail. Darlie's in jail. She's in jail to this day for this murder of her 2 children. And so that's where we're at. So her defense has yet to stop working on this case to this very day. From 1997 to today. They are still
the fight continues,
working to get her out of jail, to get her a new trial, new evidence. And they have a lot of reasons why. Okay.
I'm ready to hear it.
Like I said, 2 sides to every story.
Hey, listen, I always say, I am not a conspiracy theorist, but I can logically come to conclusions regardless of what the masses say. Like we talked about the OJ case before. I do not think OJ Simpson killed that lady. He's dead now, whatever. But I think he's a terrible person, but I don't think he killed her, and I'm not. That's not the conspiracy. That is evidence tells me to believe that.
Yeah, and I mean the prosecution, the police, the investigators. I mean that's their job. Their job is to find who did this and put them behind bars.
Yes.
And with the evidence that they had, that's what they did.
Yeah.
But a lot of things were left out.
I'm ready to hear it. I'm ready to hear the rest of the story. Yeah, I'm ready to hear it.
It's easy to, from the prosecution, it's easy for the prosecution and defense, anybody, to sway things to look the way that you need them to look.
Yeah.
And they believed that she was responsible for it, so they gave the information that they needed to give.
Okay.
They didn't give it all.
Okay. I'm ready to hear some more information. Let's go.
So right off the bat, her family, no way. Still, they do not believe she was responsible. Still to this day.
Husband doesn't.
Husband does not. Husband stands by her. He does not believe that she's guilty of this crime. Neither her family. Their biggest, right off the bat, as soon as she was, charged with this, they're like, "What in the world? How can you look at her wounds and say that she did this to herself?" Okay. So the police, I told you that the police and the prosecution said that these were, sorry, Tito's barking.
He's upset about it too.
He is. He's ticked. Police said that the wounds were self-inflicted and superficial. When you hear superficial, what do you think?
Like light scratches.
Light scratch, not deep, not like, it's close to the surface.
Like maybe you might need a stitch or two.
Yeah. Okay. Her arm, the cut on her arm, I told you she had a cut to her arm and a cut to her neck. It was to the bone. The slice in
A sane person cannot do that.
Slice in her arm. Gosh, I've convinced you with my first piece of evidence, and you're like, she didn't do it.
I was proclaiming insanity last episode too.
Okay.
I was.
Okay, so you're still like this.
I want to see this. I want to see. What you're
Don't Google
saying.
it yet.
What?
I'm gonna show you later.
You are not the boss.
Don't you dare! I already have it pulled up on another tab. Her arm.
Okay.
They're fighting. Mom and dad are fighting. Cut to the bone, but not a life-threatening injury, but cut to the bone. Like, don't say that's superficial.
That's
First of all.
no. I would not. Absolutely not. So here's the one that I was like, a superficial neck. There is no superficial throat wound.
Like maybe a scratch.
All right, go ahead.
Her neck wound was 2 millimeters from her carotid artery, which would have killed her had it been sliced. Well, technically, the doctors said it should have killed her. She was wearing a necklace, and the knife only stopped because it hit the necklace, and they had to surgically remove the necklace from her neck. But the police said her wounds were superficial. Not only this, when I tell you, like, okay, first of all, I'm going to show you Google. Google blurs the images
Whoa.
of her wounds because they're, like, pretty bad. She has a bruise from her wrist to her armpit. I can't even accurately describe how bad this bruise is, y'all. Like, I'm going to post pictures. And I'm going to show you right now, okay? This is what Darlie looked like after this attack. Then they're saying that she did that to herself. How does one bruise themselves?
Was she left-handed?
Like this. I don't know what she was.
I'd like to know, because if you're right-handed, how in the world are you doing that?
I don't think if you're either-handed, does it matter? Look at that bruise.
I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know if it's physically possible to do that with your right hand.
So we also have these. There are tons of scratches.
I was probably so loud right there because I was talking right over the mic as I was looking at you.
There are tons of nicks and scratches on her fingers and her arms, her forearms, and her wrists. See all of these?
I mean, those are defensive wounds, right? Like
the defense had an expert come in and say, like, these are like classic defensive wounds. If someone is being attacked,
I mean, I'm not a freaking doctor,
yeah,
or detective, but I could look at those and say those are defensive wounds.
If someone is being attacked with a knife, their instinct is to cover their face with their arms and their hands. And she literally is covered in all of these, like, nicks from the knife on her fingers. They said, like, you would try to grab the knife from the person, and, like, she literally has all these little slices all over her hands and fingers. But they're superficial. Like, the only thing that was talked about in court was her superficial wounds. Like, the prosecution did not, like, they didn't do any of these. They didn't discuss any of this. Like how
the defense did in the trial, right? I mean,
I believe so. I'm assuming they did. Like, why would they not? But they're. I mean, how can you say that was done? Like, the prosecution's stance was that she did this to herself.
I don't see how you could do that to yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the number one thing for the family. Like, she's literally got the crap kicked out of her. Like, she did not do this to herself. So the next thing that the prosecution, their big thing was that diary entry.
Yeah.
It said, she apologized to the boys for what she was going to do. And obviously that was pretty incriminating. But the whole entry, like, they didn't read the whole entry. They just read that one sentence.
The apology.
Yeah. And, like, her family's like, no, like, she was struggling with postpartum. And, like, she had talked about taking her own life.
I called that one.
Yes, you did. And so they said, like, and, like, the whole diary is basically her struggling with, like, wanting to stay and see her kids grow up and be a good mom, but like fighting this postpartum and this like urge to like no longer live anymore, and just like how she would like go back and forth with like struggling about it, but she wanted them, if she chose to leave them, to forgive her for not staying and being their mom. She wasn't apologizing for like killing them. Like you said, nobody apologizes to somebody that's dead.
Yeah.
Like she was apologizing for leaving them if she chose to do it. But they just took that one sentence out and made it fit their narrative. Like you can't be put on trial for having postpartum depression.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, right. That's
like you can't like that.
Right.
Just because you've thought about killing yourself doesn't mean that you're murdering people.
Right.
Like suicide does not equate to murder.
I agree 100%.
So yeah. Okay. So like they said, they attacked her character of like they had said she had fake boobs and she had these like all these jewelry and had bleach blonde hair and she like lived this lavish lifestyle and everything. Like they did not talk about how like literally everyone in the neighborhood talked about how good of a mom she was, and how all the neighborhood moms said like their kids played at Darlie's house all the time, and like they never worried about the safety of their children when they were with Darlie at all. Like they said she was a great mom. The prosecution just talked about how she was just this like kind of like a floozy type thing.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That'd be tough to hear as like the family in there.
Right?
Especially since the family like believes 100% she's innocent.
Yeah. So something else they did.
This is like the state defending family against family whose family saying is they're innocent.
What? That confused me.
Oh, that's what happened. It's confusing. It's a confusing situation.
Okay. So next thing that they did. So this is kind of like not illegal, but not legal. I don't know. They bugged the gravesite. Like because they thought that
a low blow.
Yeah, they thought that she might like go there to visit the kids and like confess or like apologize for killing them or something. So they like bugged it, and they like did this like the silly string thing. Like they had all of that on tape, but like what they didn't show the jury, they only showed them that silly string part. Like there was a 2-hour prayer vigil held before the birthday party that Darlie and them like organized, and it was like they said like she was a mess. Like she was a grieving mom. She was like just crying, grieving, like, and she kept going back and forth between like she would like crying and then they would tell a story about the kids and she would be laughing and smiling and then she would start crying again. And so like they literally like when they sang happy birthday to the boys, like
it was like the end.
That was the end.
Emotions were out.
She was laughing. She was spraying silly string, but like they didn't show the jury her before that. That's a shitty move.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like I don't like the prosecution doing that.
Yeah.
If they had the footage of the whole thing, but see then again, why couldn't the defense be like play it from this point?
So I don't know why all of this wasn't like presented in the trial. Like if it was presented in the trial, I don't know why that happened. Now there is some evidence I'm going to tell you about that like hasn't like it wasn't some testing and stuff, some issues come up, and so that happened after, which is why they're trying to get her a new trial.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not sure like if the defense was like, why didn't they just play the rest of the tape or be like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't know. I'll look into that more. Johnny, question for you.
Yeah.
If I was somewhere in Kokomo and it wasn't our house and it wasn't the flower shop, where would I be?
Easy. Humble home.
Yes, you're right. You guys, listen up. Humble Home is my absolute favorite place to be for so many reasons. No matter what I'm looking for, I always check Humble Home first. Clothes, shoes, toys, decor, furniture, makeup. They literally always have something that I need. They have brand name items for cheap. Their inventory is constantly changing, so it's part of my weekly routine to do a Humble Home walkthrough. You absolutely need to stop by. I promise you won't be disappointed. While it is a discount store, it's not your average discount store. It's clean, organized, and everything has its place. I get zero anxiety when I go in, unlike other discount stores. And no matter what you're shopping for, a home project, gifts, home decor, even seasonal decor, they will have it. They are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5. You can follow them on Facebook at Humble Home Kokomo and watch for new items every single day. And for our Lafayette, Indiana listeners, I have exciting news. They're opening a second location in Lafayette soon. As soon as I have the details, I will let you know their opening date. Get excited. Okay, so something else. I'm going to keep going here. So they said they made it try to sound like she was trying to, when she on that 911 call, when the operator was like, don't touch the knife. And they were like, oh, she said like, don't like, oh no, I already touched it. My prints are going to like, you know, But when you actually listen to the 911 call, like the operator says, she says there's a knife, and the operator says, okay, don't touch it. And then there's like a full minute where Darlie's just like flipping out, talking, like asking where the ambulance is, all this stuff. And then like after a minute, she says, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have touched it. It's like it dawned on her later, like after it set in. It wasn't like she was like forthcoming with this.
It wasn't like
information.
her first reaction was,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
now
like-
you have my fingerprints.
No, like she didn't like voluntarily contribute the you have my fingerprint information. The operator told her not to touch it, and then like a minute later, she like, it's like it came to her after that, you know. But they made it sound like she was like, yes, 911, somebody broke into my house, and also just so you know, I touched the knife, so my prints might be on it, but I didn't do it. Like she wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So
I still don't like saying that. I don't know. Again, people respond to grief differently. I always take that with a grain of salt in the 911 calls. By the way, we did listen to the full 911 call, and she did mention the boys' names a couple times, like in a frantic state.
It's because she was, she said something about Devin's still alive, but they were saying that when she talks about them dying, it's the boys are like, and being killed.
Yeah.
Like somebody killed by boys.
Yeah. She definitely said those terms a lot. I just wanted to clarify that.
I think, yeah. So another thing that they didn't really, give forth this information either. They were all concerned. One of their main things of evidence was that, there was that bloody footprint and the broken wine glass was on top of the footprint. That means that she like staged it, like after the footprint. They were like, the defense was like, the paramedics like rushed in there because Devin was still alive and Darlie was alive. So they like rushed in there. They easily could have knocked over something after it happened.
Yeah.
That doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah. That one was like, I couldn't care about less about that one.
The other piece of evidence that they really hinged on, the window. I said that there was no dust. The dust was not disturbed on the windowsill. And the mulch on the outside. Okay, so when you see a picture of the window, the mulch isn't, they made it sound like the mulch was like right under the window. It's actually like further away. But like the way they took the pictures and stuff, like you can't really see the window and the mulch in the same frame. You just see the mulch and it's undisturbed. But when you actually look at the whole area, there's like concrete under the window and then the landscaping.
Oh.
Like you wouldn't even have to step in the mulch.
There's like a landing between the house.
Yeah, like you wouldn't even have to have gotten in the mulch. So it doesn't even matter that the mulch hasn't been disturbed because if somebody did come through the window, they wouldn't have stepped in the mulch anyway.
Huh. There's enough room for somebody to be
The other thing, which Darren, the husband, in an interview did this. He was like, they're making it sound like this window is like the tell-all, be-all of this case. So Darren is like, somebody easily could have came through this window without touching any of this. Like they keep saying nobody went through this window. She did it. And he's like, no, somebody easily could have.
I mean,
There's no sign. Like you wouldn't have to leave a sign
just
coming through.
Hearing you tell this without being able to have the visual, talking about the windowsill and the mulch, it's like, oh, guaranteed you can't. Like that is so easily evidence of and proof that nobody can. But like now that you describe it like that, it's like, what does that even matter?
Exactly.
How did that even make it into court?
Exactly.
Like, how did that even become?
I got another one for you.
Okay.
It's like you were like, you can't possibly explain that away.
Yeah.
At the first episode.
Yeah.
Like last week, you're like, you can't explain these things.
You got to talk to me about the knife.
The defense can explain them away, which to me is also called reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Right.
So.
You gonna talk to me about this knife?
Yes.
Oh.
Bread knife.
The bread
fibers.
Knife. Okay.
How in the world can you explain fibers on the bread knife?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Cross-contamination. They dusted the screen for fingerprints, and then they dusted the bread knife. They were like, easily, these are microscopic fiberglass fibers from the screen. Like, they're like, easily. They did a test of it. They used a fingerprint brush and did it on a screen, and then they took it and did it on a knife and found the screen fibers on the knife.
Whew, I feel like that's kind of a stretch, but I mean, if they test it, I mean.
They also, investigators did not match the fibers to the exact window. Like, they could have went one more step and been like, oh, we found screen fibers. Let's prove that they're exactly from that screen. No, they were like, oh, there's fibers on there. Okay. Didn't do any further testing. The defense took 10 different fingerprint brushes and they did a test with them. And 4 of the 10 left fiberglass fibers.
Really? Oof.
Because of the like stuff that is made out of the brushes are made out of.
That's messy.
And so they're like, you can't even prove that they could have just been fibers from your brush.
That's messy. Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, that was my, like I said, that was my right hook.
Okay. So I did. So there's 2 more pieces of evidence that I did not tell you about.
Okay. All right.
The first one was they did find a fingerprint on the window.
Whoa.
One fingerprint.
You held that back.
I did hold that back.
Okay.
It was not a match to anybody that lived in the house.
Why is she in jail?
Right? One more. Ready? There was a sock found outside of the Routier home. It was 75 feet away from the home, okay?
Okay.
It had both boys' blood on it.
Wait a minute.
And it was found right beside some garbage cans and right on top of a storm drain. Like the side, the kind that, like the clown is,
yeah.
You know? Like the storm drain. Right on top of one. 75 feet away.
Had both their blood on it.
Had both of
sock
the
did not come
blood.
from the house.
The sock did come from the house.
Oh, okay. It was like a kid's sock?
It was I don't know whose sock it was. It was a sock with the boy's blood on it. The police said, then the prosecution said that this was just Darlie planted it. It was a ruse to make it look like somebody had ran away and left a piece of evidence outside the house. The defense is like, there is literally no way she could have done that. The reason being, they had a medical examiner testify that Damon was alive when paramedics got there, right?
Yeah.
Damon's alive. With his injuries, they said that he would only have survived maybe 8 minutes. The 911 call was 6 minutes. So they would give her less than 3 minutes to.
With all of her wounds that she has.
No. It was, so, okay. So the prosecution is saying Darlie
killed her kids.
Stabbed the boys.
Yeah.
Took the sock. Ran it down 75 yards. Dropped it on the ground. Ran it back. Sliced herself all up. Didn't get any blood in the garage or anything. Anywhere else. Because they didn't find any blood anywhere. Just the sock. And she was bleeding. Unless she didn't cut herself until she got back. I suppose she could have cut herself before or after. But why would you cut yourself and then run 75 yards? So, ran 75 yards. Ran back. Bruised herself. Cut herself. And then called 911 for 6 minutes. Because Damon was still alive when they got there, which means the 8 minutes that he would have lived. Like, how does that timeline even possible?
I mean, you're spending over a minute just running the 75 yards and back.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
I don't know how far 75 yards. Well, football field's 100, right?
I mean, running a 45 dash in sub 5, like, that's like good football player. Like, very athletic.
45 yards in 5 seconds?
40 yards in 5 seconds is like, you're a good football player.
75 yards would take how long?
I'm saying, like, a mom who's not training to be an athlete, 75 yards would take, like, 30 seconds. There,
so that's after you get out of the house, too.
That's after you get out of the house.
Okay,
there
75
and
yards.
back, minute and a half. Like,
and then to cut yourself up as bad as she was.
In a
Which,
minute and a
y'all,
half.
did you look at the pictures? You have to look at the pictures.
It puts a whole different perspective on the case when you see the pictures, especially the arm. But also, like I said, I mean, the cut on her neck, like, you couldn't do that. Like, right-handed, I feel like.
I have no idea.
I mean,
I never read anything about the hands or anything.
I just, like, look at it because it's, like, down on an angle. It would have to be, like, you'd have to, like, it'd be difficult, I feel like. I mean, if she was left-handed, I'd be like, okay, but if she's right-handed, I feel like it's like not possible.
Yeah.
I mean, she definitely couldn't have cut her right arm like that if she was right-handed.
Yeah.
You know, it would be.
It was like on her forearm.
Yeah,
thing,
it was. Yeah. But.
So.
I mean,
about that.
I feel like. The sock was a smoking gun. The fingerprint was I feel like if I didn't know about this fingerprint earlier, it would have been harder for me. Also, the whole knife thing, you did that was my right hook.
So some other people online. So there's a lot of, when I'm telling y'all that you could spend months researching and deep diving and going down this rabbit hole, you really could. But there's a lot of people that will say, so one theory is this sock.
So
I guess I never read anything, and I don't know if it was a sock from the home.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you.
If it wasn't from the home, some people have said, was it tested for chloroform? Because they said, A, that could be why she didn't wake up.
Yeah.
And B, it was found, like, they're saying, like, what if somebody, if you brought a sock to chloroform somebody, you would probably take it back with you as evidence.
Yeah.
And what if they tried to ditch it in that storm drain with probably other evidence too, and the sock just didn't make it in there because they were like running down the alley through this stuff in this drain, and the sock didn't go in the drain. So that's a big one. This like whole like this sock was part of like ditched evidence from the intruder that was in the house, and B, was it chloroform, and that's why she didn't wake up. That's a good theory.
Yeah. Yeah. The sock. I mean, I feel like if I'm a juror, and I'm hearing everything you're telling me now, like, good luck getting reasonable doubt out of my head.
Right?
Like, good luck.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got some more.
Okay.
Stanley Cleaning Company has an exciting new service they are offering, and I can't wait to tell you about it. Laundry. Yes, they will come to your house, and for $15 a load, they will pick it up, take it, wash it, dry it, fold it, and bring it back to you. This is something I have dreamed about since I became an adult and started doing laundry on my own. Hit them up and get your place cleaned and your laundry done by my friends over at Stanley Cleaning Company. You can find them on Facebook or give her a call or a text at 765-860-3606. So there's another bomb for you. So Darren had gotten in trouble for insurance fraud. Okay? The husband. He had, I believe, gotten someone to steal a car, and then he got the insurance money off of it or something like that. I think it was a car.
Shady?
Why can't I remember what it was? I believe it was a car. Anyway, he had been talking to some people about staging a robbery of his house.
Yikes.
For insurance. He says this never went farther than just like talking about it. Like he never hired anyone to do it or anything. But like, what if, like, I don't know. I mean, what if somebody heard, I don't know. What if
he talked somebody into an act? Someone's like, that's a good idea. Like you're saying he's involved. You think he's involved?
No, I don't know if he's involved. So like, he first of all didn't come forth and like tell people this right away.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But then, like, I don't know, what if he did make the plan and then canceled it or said never mind, or they did it anyway, or there was like some sort of miscommunication among the bad people? Or what if they just like were like, oh, well, we're just going to rob him anyway because he has a lot of stuff, but then they were sleeping downstairs. They weren't supposed to be. Messed the plan up. Robbery gone bad. They didn't have a knife with them, so they had to use a knife from the house.
I feel like the jump from I'm going to rob them to I'm going to kill 2 kids is a pretty wild jump.
It is. That's true. I don't know. It's a crazy case, but like,
that's I can like, honestly I'm going to go from like spending the night in jail and getting bailed out to death row.
Yeah, I don't think she did it.
Man, so that's like your stance.
My stance has always been, I think Darlie Routier did not do it.
She's in jail for life.
I think she's in jail.
Unjustly.
Yeah. She has proclaimed her innocence from the get-go. Her family has proclaimed her innocence. In June of 2011, Darren filed for divorce. He said that it was a mutual decision, He said it was really difficult, but he still believes in her innocence. He said that they just had been in so much limbo since her arrest. I mean, how can you actually move on with your life when your wife is in prison for life?
That's tough.
He still visits her, and Drake, the youngest son, visits her in jail, and they both believe that she is innocent.
Man. So, like, as we went through this, I was trying to think of everything, or if anything, could rule out, like, a manic episode. Like, outside of her mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a mental break.
Trying to...
The defensive wounds, like the cuts and nicks on them that you showed me, like, how do you fake that?
I don't think you can bruise yourself that bad.
Not sanely, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm talking about, manic.
So, the other thing is, if she cut her neck... if she cut her neck that way, which a lot of people have said too, like, maybe she was trying to kill herself, and the necklace is what stopped it. Because a lot of people are like, there's no way that you can cut yourself on your neck like that and be like, oh, gotta stop right here, 2 millimeters from my carotid. Like, she didn't mean
you can't accurately do that. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I hate this case, but I love this case because I really want to freaking know. So the latest is that they are trying to figure out a way to maybe get DNA off of that print. Like, sometimes you can get like touch DNA. And so they're like trying to figure out like submitting testing to see if they can do that. Her defense, like, they still are trying, like, she's appealed it, but it's been denied two times now. And so they are trying to get her a new trial with evidence, more evidence, and hopefully some DNA.
Man, I don't know.
So, like, is somebody out there that has just like killed 2 little boys and attempted to kill a mom and never went to jail for it because the mom is sitting there?
I mean, imagine being that criminal too, when on day 1 they're like, the mom did it. You're like, cool.
Or is Darlie sitting there saying she didn't do it, knowing damn well that she did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
oof. Yeah, that's a heavy one. Goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you guys have to let us know.
I will say, I do not see first-degree murder whatsoever.
Yeah, no.
Like, whatsoever.
Yeah.
And you put me on that jury, I'm never going to agree to that.
I know. How'd they get all the jury? Man. So tell us what you guys think. I promise you, if you Google this or dive into it, you're going to find more information than I talked about. There's so much out there. So if you find anything interesting that you think I missed or that I would just want to know, let me know. I might have already known it because I literally spent a really long time on this and tried to like put it in some sort of form for you guys to like be able to digest it all. But yeah, there's a lot out there and it's crazy. And I hope that you think about this for weeks like I have. Have a good Friday. Come see me tomorrow at the market.
Hey, see you next week. This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I.
Did you know the Jefferson House of Flowers has been a local Kokomo florist for almost 100 years? Our trained designers make beautiful arrangements for literally any occasion. You can send flowers for any reason. Birthdays, anniversaries, get well, congratulations. The list goes on. We make flowers for funerals, weddings, proposals, and even proms. Let's be honest. Receiving flowers, whether you're at home or at your work, it makes you feel special. You get butterflies and you feel loved, and that's what sending flowers is all about, the feeling it creates. Call us at 765-452-8269 and let us create something special and send it out for you. Or you can stop in and see us at 4300 West, 100 North Kokomo. We always have a cooler full of flowers that are ready to go, as well as a boutique full of gifts. Shop local, support local, and send flowers.